Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Grab a beverage of your choice because today we will be discussing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, I think it was called. I am a huge Indiana Jones fan. Been a fan since the first movie came out when my Aunt Nancy took me to go see it over Christmas vacation back when it came out. And, you know, it's just love the movies. In fact, I can't watch Raiders of the Lost Ark without thinking of her. Temple of Doom, great movie. I think that's the best of the movies. Last Crusade, it wasn't as good as the first two, but it was great. Then we've had these last two. Or at least we had Crystal Skull. So when I came into seeing this latest movie, I had all this in mind. I mean, how awesome the first three movies were, and then how anti-awesome Crystal Skull was. It was just a bad movie. And, you know, just a couple weeks ago, I went and saw The Flash, and so I'm sitting there thinking, oh, man, I don't know. So I go in, sit down, and after about like half an hour of, previews and commercials, don't even get me started and all that, the movie starts. Two things struck me right off. Disney and Lucasfilm presents. No, Lucasfilm presents. Okay, that's what it should be. And two, every other movie before this, including Crystal Skull, started out with a representation of the mountain in the Paramount emblem. Yeah, the first one was that the mountain in the jungle. Doom had the kind of the mountain on the gong. You know, the last one had that little gopher hole mound, which was kind of stupid. This one didn't. So I was nothing. Okay, this can't be a good sign. They're already breaking the format. But then we started to get into the movie. It takes place in Germany, and I think 44. It has the de-aged Indiana Harrison Ford. It's him on trying to get a relic from the Nazis who had gotten it. You know, Germany had pretty much fallen. This was a last-ditch effort of Hitler to get this object so he could, you know, win the war. And so there's this German scientist, or who's working with all these soldiers to get this stuff. And of course, action ensues. And this is a really good part of the movie. There's a little hard to see sometimes because it seemed like they kept a little dark. I mean, it took place at night, and usually when they have night shoots, you can still see fairly well. But this one, it seemed darker than usual, so I don't know if they were just trying to do that to help with the de-aging process or something. But then they get to boom, and then the jump forward in time. It's up to modern times, which is a couple days before the moon landing in 1969. And you have Indiana Jones at the age that Harrison Ford is now. And he's retiring. And he starts to go into the history of the object that he and his friend had been looking for during the war for his class, which he thought didn't have any magical properties. He was like, oh, this is horse shit. And we come across a female character. Turns out that his friend's daughter and his goddaughter, and she is being chased by people that you find out later, who they are. And the scientist, the German scientist who had been working for Hitler, is now part of the scientific crew that helped us go to the moon, which in fact really happened. We had German scientists from Nazi scientists from there who were brought over to help us with stuff like going to the moon and all that. So, I mean, that actually happened, but then that's the main bad guy in this movie. Once we get to 1969, it started with it's kind of like more of a thriller type as opposed to an archaeology thing. Like all the other ones, it was he's going after the German. He and the Germans are going after the Ark. It's a chase, but it's to get an archaeological artifact. Temple of Doom. They need to get the Sankara stones. Archaeological artifacts. The Last Crusade. Finding his father, but yes, that had to deal with the chalice. Jesus' chalice. So it's all about archaeological. This one, yes, they're trying to find a piece, but they're spending more time in just the chase than the archaeological part. And I mean, of course, that is one of the good things about an Indiana Jones movie is, there's the action and the chases and, stuff like that. Him going after the bad guy, or the bad guys, going against the bad guys to try and find this piece. It just didn't seem to work well this time because it was more him and his goddaughter searching for this. And the relationship between them than him being chased by the bad guys. It seems like they needed to try and develop her into a strong character, or maybe possibly a replacement for him. But see, here's the thing: Indiana Jones already had kind of strong female characters. I mean, look at Marion in the first one. She didn't take anyone's shit. Willie, she wasn't a strong character, but she sort of, maybe developed into one. But she was a useful part in the movie. This one, there was just not right. Some of this, and I mean, don't get me wrong. It was exciting. They had some good chase scenes, and I can't remember the guy. Mads something played a fantastic bad guy. I mean, he did his role well in playing that character. But it was just the female character in there was just, it's like they kept going different directions with her, and you're like, what are they trying to do with her? What is her purpose? I mean, this is 1 second she's this, 1 second she's that, 1 second she's this, and then they've got this little kid with her, who it seems like he's her version of Short Round. I mean, she even Indy asked him where she got this young kid. He says, he tried to steal my purse outside of this place, and I wouldn't let go, neither would he. So I kept him around because he's like me and he doesn't give up. I mean, that's, dude, Short Round, but not. I mean, it seems like they're just sitting there going, okay, this is going to be the new female Indy. I don't know if that was what they're trying to do, but that's the message that it got across. It's just like, oh, look, she's got her own little Short Round. She's an archaeologist too, and knows all about this type of stuff, just like him. She can, she knows the same stuff he does, even though she's, just graduated. So I don't know. I mean, but when they did get to the actual getting the thing at the end, the Dial of Destiny, the ending seemed a little, I don't want to say forced, but what they were doing, they're trying to throw a lot of stuff in from other movies in there. Like they had the Temple of Doom thing with the little Short Round kid. At the end, at the very end, you'll see what I'm talking about, but it's another, almost the same scene between her and Indy as it was in the end of The Last Crusade with the cup. Okay, I probably gave a little bit too much on that one, but you'll understand what I'm talking about when you see it. So, I mean, it was a fun movie, but it was just, it's kind of rehashing all the other old movies, and just like, okay, we want to, we're going to set this up because this is supposed to be the last time that he plays Indy. And it's like, okay, this is Disney, so they're going to want to try and keep the franchise going, even though we already see what they did with the Star Wars franchise. So, I don't know. It's a lot it's better than Crystal Skull. But it's nowhere near as good as the original three. So I'm going to give it probably a 3.25 out of 5. And I'm just going to be thankful it wasn't as bad as I've heard a lot of people say that they thought it was. And I'm a little annoyed that it wasn't as good as all the other ones, except for the Crystal Skull. So I guess on a positive note, it's not going out on the dreadful Crystal Skull ending. And then at least have it be a little better like this one was, but that's not saying much. It's like I was talking to somebody last night after I watched it, because I saw it on Thursday night. I said it's better than the Crystal Skull, and the guy says, "Yeah, that's a low bar." Yes, it is, but beggars can't be choosers. So it's 3.25 out of 5. I mean, the de-aging things was good. First part was exceptionally good. Then it just sort of didn't keep up with its goodness in the next two acts, and it's just. But yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, most of all. Have some good archaeological adventures.